The OnePlus 3 has got a new version. It's called 3T here on the right side. This has got a bigger battery, a new Snapdragon processor, and in this video you will see the first test results. But let's first stick with the things that are the same, and that's of course the design. So you have that aluminum unibody once more, a little bit darker as you can see here. Fortunately, I just can tell you, because otherwise I really couldn't make any difference between those because it's exactly the same sizes, dimensions, 75 millimeters, 153, and because of that curved back you have here on the edge, it's 4.3 millimeters. Here in the thickest where the camera is coming out, it's 8.6 millimeters, but widely it's 7.4. The only thing is it's 1 gram less now with 159 instead of 160, but that's nothing you will feel if you compare these both. And you have, I guess the most important thing, the same display. It's a Super AMOLED once more. So again, 5.48 inch or 139 millimeters. You have the same resolution. It's still 1080 by 1920 pixels, and thus the same pixel density. This is, let me go again into the app launcher here. So this is 402 ppi, 6% below the average, but you can see here it's perfectly to be read. So absolutely okay. Even the brightness is the same, almost the same, 449 instead of 455 nits. That's really the same leak, don't mind about that. That's 17% above the average for OLEDs, so absolutely okay. And of course you have again 4G, 300 megabits, Wi-Fi SE, NFC, Android 601, and the same user interface. That's Oxygen OS 353 now. You have the updates here. So it's the same usage. Fingerprint sensor here, of course, back and recent apps, same handling. So it's really up, and especially, of course, let's not forget the camera, that the manufacturer is telling here camera quality has been enhanced a little bit here on the 3T. We'll see that in the final test, like always as text on my website mobiwatch.net. But the hardware is the same, meaning you have photos with 16 megapixels, videos in 4K. On the front you have videos in Full HD, and selfies here with 8 megapixels. So it's really up to the processor and the battery. Processor now is the Snapdragon 821 instead of 820, so it stays with 4 cores, but you have higher clock rates. Now it's 2.34 instead of 2.15 gigahertz, and the lower ones 2.2 instead of 1.6 gigahertz. It's the same graphics module, the Adreno 530, and you have again these 6 GB of working memory of RAM. And with that, you know, I'm always taking out of 15 benchmarks more than 50 single values, combine that to an overall ranking, and here is the 3 currently now 64% above the average. That's rank 9 now, so it's really good. And here we are 83% above the average. That's rank 7. So a little bit more horsepower here, but I'm pretty sure you won't feel it in everyday life. So you really need some pretty good apps. You need this a little bit more, let's say, graphically advanced games or something like that. Then you might feel a little bit more of these 83 instead of 64. But for normal users, it's not a significant difference, I'd say. This is the battery. Again, this is fixed, built in, of course. You have that aluminum unibody, remember, so you cannot remove anything here. So it's now 3400 instead of 3000 milliamps. And here the OnePlus 3 has in the runtime test 549 minutes. That's currently 11% above the average. And here the 3T is 686 minutes. That's 39% above the average. So 25% longer runtime and 39% above the average is really good. It's meaning that even heavy users should come through the day, I'd say. So that's 11%, not regular users, yes, but intense users. I'd say it's getting critically in the afternoon, but here you shall reach the evening, I would say, and that's a really huge difference. So it's the better one, of course, but it's costing more. This one has started here in Germany, Europe, including tax, with 399. This is now 439, $40 more. And especially you have now the choice between two versions of the memory, because remember, you cannot expand your memory. You have dual SIM here, but you cannot insert a micro SD card for whatever reasons. So here on the first one, on the OnePlus 3, you had 64 gigabyte, leaving a net memory of 51.6, let's say 52 gigabyte. So that's here the net memory. And now you can have 128, leaving net 110.3 gigabyte, 52, 110, so net doubled. And that's, of course, a really huge difference too, but you have to pay more for this, $40 more. It's now 479 euros, making overall $80 more for the bigger version. But let's compare the 479 euros to some 700, 800 euros of some top models from Sony, HTC, Samsung, Apple, of course, you name it. So it's still a good price, I'd say, for a very interesting product. And that's the first impression here and the first differences from the OnePlus 3T, more in the final test, like I told you, as text on my website. And last but not least, please be so kind to rate this video. If you liked it, maybe you leave a sub, and of course your opinion in the comments. Thanks for that in advance. Take care and bye.